Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 12 of my Factorio quality playthrough. So in the last episode, we set up some red logistics down here, next to our power poles, and we also set up some space platform foundations, as well as a space platform starter pack. I have limited this to one. Unfortunately, I made a couple more than that. This is not getting quality, so this is not something that we're going to be adding quality to. We also have some space platforms being created because we will need that shortly. I've also made some inserters, and someone pointed out that I forgot to add in the quality for the blue, the fast inserters and the regular inserters. So I have added quality to that. Added quality to the recipe. I also forgot to add in some quality modules, so I've added quality modules here now. I think I missed some over here too. These two. Those are good, these are good. Nothing else is getting quality modules. These are all quality modules. Okay, so in this episode, first off, we're going to start by limiting fluids. Not limiting fluids, we're going to make a latch so that we can kind of start to regulate our fluids. So before we do that, we need to connect all of our tanks together. And we're going to take these tanks and connect them to the power poles that we have, the substations. So the first one we're going to do is this one. We need a pump. So this is going to be, we're going to regulate the heavy oil. So we want to enable this pump when we have certain conditions met. So we're going to grab a decider combinator. We are going to connect the input to the output. The only thing that you need to know here is that the wire needs to be a different color than the one we're bringing in. So we are bringing in the red wire, and so that means the connection from the front to the back needs to be the green wire. So red wire comes in. We are going to add two more conditions. The first one is going to be by itself, and the second one is going to be grouped together as an AND. So if we have too much heavy oil, let's say that we have more than 5,000. So this is oil, heavy oil is greater than 5,000. We want to send out a good to go signal, check mark. And if we want this to continue until we have, let's say under 2,000. So this needs to be a greater than 2,000, because what will happen is this will stay active along with this check, which is going to be greater than 0. So the first one enables once heavy oil is greater than 5,000, it sends out the check signal. Check signal is what is going to be used to determine if the pump is able to go. So let's connect the output to the pump, and we're going to enable if the check is greater than 0. So this activates it. This activates the pump. The check goes into the output, back into the input, and this now becomes true. So the check will now be 1, which is greater than 0. So this will be active. This is also going to be active because we are over 5,000. So being over 5,000 is also being over 2,000. So once this goes below 2,000, so this is no longer true, this will cut off the latch and disable the pump. So that is what we're starting with. I'm going to add another one over here for the light oil converting into petroleum gas. So we're going to do the same thing here. I did this on my live stream, but I did it a little bit different. It's all the same. The numbers are going to be a little different. So we're going to do the same thing. Enable the pump if it is greater than 0. You're going to have two conditions over here. One is going to be light oil. So this is where things are going to be a little bit different. We're going to enable this if light oil is greater than 40,000. We want a good, we want light oil to back up some. And then light oil is going to be here as long as it is greater than, let's say 15,000. Check mark is greater than 0, and check mark with an output of 1. So these are the conditions that we have set. And so again, what this will do is if we get to 40,000, if we get over 40,000 light oil, this one activates, sends out the check, which makes this section true. And it will stay true until light oil is no longer greater than 15,000, in which case the whole thing is disabled and the pump deactivates. I occasionally add a second combinator, so like a second set of parameters, so we can add another one. I'm not really worried about it, but I'll just go ahead and show that off. So we would connect the red and the red. So these two are now tethered together, so they are reading the same items. So let's say that we wanted it to activate if petroleum gas was less than 15,000. Whoops. And then we also want it to activate if petroleum gas is less than 30,000. So this will activate. This will activate if petroleum gas is less than 15,000, and it will deactivate if petroleum gas is no longer less than 30,000. So once petroleum gas goes over 30,000, this cuts off. The same thing is going to be true here, where this is greater than 0. The pump is still going to receive the check mark either way. So either of these can allow the condition of the check mark to come through to the pump. That's just kind of how you would do that if you had it set up like that. I'm not too worried about the lubricant. The lubricant can just kind of do whatever it wants for now. We just need to make sure that we're building up our light oil, because we are super heavy on the petroleum gas. I'm going to delete this so we can just make sure that we can kind of check and see that everything is good to go. These are going to activate either way. You know what? Let's go ahead and limit this too. So pump is here. I need a combinator. Did I connect these? I did. Okay. So this is going to connect to the pump. The input is going into the output. Enable if check is greater than 0. So it is currently disabled. So let's activate this if lubricant if lubricant is less than 30,000. So now it's going to activate, and it will stay active until lubricant is less than 15,000. No, if lubricant is less than 15,000, you can activate, and it will stay active until it is no longer less than 30,000. There we go. Okay. This is a check mark and greater than 0. So it is currently active. So it is going to pump until lubricant between the two. So this is 7,000. You can see here. So once it gets to 15,000, sorry, once it gets to 30,000, it will shut off. So that's how we deal with that. So the second thing that we're going to do is over here at the red circuit. So we have a little bit of an imbalance whenever it comes to the plastic and the green circuits, but I'm mostly going to just show this. I can do it with both. So I did kind of determine that I did find a little bit of a use for being able to connect the splitter to the circuit network. And so we're going to take a measurement here. So we're going to measure all of the items in this section. That's going to give us 24 items. We have 12 belts, 6 underground belts, and 6 inserters. The reason why is because we want to know how many belts are here, and since there are undergrounds, we just need to count all the spaces. So this is 24 items total. The belts can hold 8 items per, so that's 192 items that can be held in this spot. We'll just call it 200 for the sake of argument. So I'm going to connect the splitter to the belt, and I'm going to hold and read all. So that is going to read every single belt from this splitter to this splitter. That means that we can have up to 200 items. So I'm going to set the output, and I'm going to tell this that if plastic is less than 40, wait a minute, what do I want to do here? So I want you to go to the left if plastic is less than 40, and I want you to go to the right if plastic is in this belt is greater than 40. Oops. So now what that'll do is the left will now allow 40 items through before it turns off, and the rest of the items will continue on. So why did I do 40, and like why are we doing this? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections where we need an even amount of plastic to go through. Since we can hold 200 items, let's say, within this belt, this range, a fifth of that, so we have 5 sections, and a fifth of that is going to be 40, so this is all going to be limited to 40. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, paste it here, paste it here, and then the rest can just go through the top. I'm going to do the same thing with the green circuits. It's going to be a little bit different math. The green circuits they take up a little bit more space. So we have 14, we have 28 here. Let's just, because we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to do 40. It would technically be a little bit more, but I'm not that picky. So we want to set the output, and if the green circuit is less than 40, go left, and if the green circuit is greater than 40, go right. I'm going to copy that and then paste it onto each of these. I missed one. And I did not need to limit that top one. I needed to limit this one here. This one here that is dragging in quality, it can just go. Like, I don't really care. If any quality comes through, then feel free to snag any of it. That's what I want to have here. Yeah, so that is going to help kind of regulate the flow of the items, so that by the time it gets to the last belt, assuming that you have a full belt of items coming in from the start, so here, we have now divided this up, and it should be roughly equal parts going to each, and then they all reconnect later. Okay, so that is the second change that we're making. That will, again, kind of helpfully like distribute the items a little bit better. So next up, basically the idea that we have for this episode is we need to get ready to launch a rocket. So to launch a rocket, we need 1, a rocket silo, and 2, we need blue circuits, we need LDS, and we also need rocket fuel. So we don't have any rocket fuel at the moment, so we're going to add in some rocket fuel here. I'm going to remove some of this. I have some grenades, which is great. Our best landscaping tool besides bots. Ow. Okay, that should be enough room. We can get the bots to take care of the rock. And I think that's it. Oh, these are just fake trees. Okay, so for rocket fuel, we need to make some solid fuel first. And solid fuel has a few different recipes that it can be that can be used. One is petroleum gas, one is light oil, and one is heavy oil. The best bang for your buck is going to be light oil. At the moment, we're sitting a little heavy on petroleum gas. We have we can just look at a power pole. So we have 50 petroleum gas. We only have 17,000 light oil and 12,000 lubricant. We have no heavy oil because all the heavy oil is basically going into the lubricant if it is not being converted. it doesn't even have the option to be converted at this point. So all this light oil that we have now saved up between adding these in and now is pretty much like, it's pretty much what we're gonna have. Like we will end up using light oil to make up solid fuel at some point, but for now we're just gonna do the petroleum gas. So I need to apparently drag both of them over. Thankfully they are mostly right here. I'll get the bots to do some of this too. So let's see, we need this connected here. Okay, so that is petroleum gas, and we need light oil. The bots involved. I don't remember where I needed light oil. I think it was right next to the petroleum gas. So I think we're going down here. Let's put it next to the oil. Nope, I had sulfuric acid there. Never mind. So it's going in next to the petroleum gas. Right, so that will be our light oil once the bots get everything placed. And we are going to need to bring in both of these. I think I have this set up pretty close to this power pole, so we are going to have light oil come in here. Sorry, petroleum gas come in here. Like this. And light oil will be a couple of spaces down. Let's just say here for now. Okay, so for starters, we need chemical plants, which I have on me. I don't really have a preference on where these are going to go, but we do need to leave some space for the belts to come in, for the, the pipes to come in. So we know we need around 8, so this is 7, we need one more. And like I said, for now we're just going to do petroleum gas. We will be able to convert this later, so once we get to the point where we have more light oil than we need, we can convert all this to light oil. We're just going to drag this through. And this is going to output onto a belt. This. And we're not giving any of this quality, so the only thing that we really need rocket fuel for is the rocket. So yeah, we are not going to be adding in quality to this because we do not need quality fuel going into our rockets. So I'm going to copy all of this and horizontally flip. So that gets us our solid fuel from petroleum gas. Next up, we definitely need the light oil for making rocket fuel. It needs solid gas and it needs light oil. So let's just give ourselves some room. So this is going to be rocket fuel. We will need somewhere for the rocket fuel to come in. So sorry, the solid fuel. The solid fuel will come in here. And the light oil will come back to here. Let's go one more back. We will need solid fuel to come in. Like that. And then we can take all of this. We're going to copy all of this, vertically flip it. Sorry, horizontally flip it. And leave ourselves room for a belt in the middle for the rocket fuel to come out. Okay, and that should be it for the rocket fuel. So let's get this out onto a belt. And I initially planned on having this be next to the plastic, so this can come out to here, and it is good to go. Alright, so that is our rocket fuel. We need some power, obviously. So I'm just going to squeeze these in here. And same thing over here. I need some light oil over here, so... There. Good enough for me. Oh, we did not, There we go. Solid fuel. Alright, so that is rocket fuel. And yeah, we are now good to go. The rocket fuel will be able to fuel our rocket silos. So that is going to be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, I'm going to make another build. So I had a build in my live stream that I put on the tail end over here. I'm trying really hard to salvage the starter base because we kind of need it for the science and other things. I've started upgrading the belts, so I am slowly adding in sections. We have red belts being crafted here, and then I did add in some red belts over here, so I'm kind of pulling from both parts, the starter base and the main base over here. I need this to be here though, creating this because it is pulling a lot of our normal quality iron plates out of the bus through the iron plates and through the gears. I should also mention that I have doubled up on the gears. The section that we had down here was just not working, so I did double it up. And I did a little bit of finagling with that. And again, that will try to hopefully kind of, yeah, you can see we have a bit more quality on here now, which is awesome. That's exactly what we're aiming for. Anyways, I'm going to add in a build here later that, like I said, I had it on the tail end of the bus, but I'm trying to save the starter base, so I'm going to have it down here instead. Okay, so that is it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we will be making solar panels and accumulators here with batteries. And we also need some assembling machines, so I'll be making some assembling machines too. Okay, so I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.